Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is May 2nd, 2024, and this is episode 97. Welcome to any new viewers and thank you very much for coming back. My name is Roz and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada with my husband and my two kids who are 14 and 12. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Rosberry Crafts, and I also have a Discord server where I'm happy to chat with you guys, and or you can chat with other viewers as well. And there is a link to my Ko-fi account down below if you feel like you want to donate a couple bucks to the podcast. This just helps with, equipment and recording stuff and all that. Helps me make the podcast. Sorry, that always feels awkward. Today for you, I have what am I wearing, finished objects, works in progress, and some books. Let's get started, shall we? What am I wearing? As usual in What Am I Wearing, I'm going to talk about the weather. It has been delightfully spring-like, nice and sunny, around 15 degrees during the afternoon, which is lovely. However, we have hit a cold snap and it was down to 4 degrees this morning. So I put on my Hinterland sweater. Hinterland is a pattern by Jennifer Steinglass. It is a colorwork yoke, and then there's a bit more color work on the sleeves here. I knit this out of Cascade 220 fingering in the dark plum and buff colorways. You probably also have noticed that I have a bit of a fat lip situation going on here. Yeah, just a pimple, it happens. I find now that I'm in my 40s, I'm back getting pimples again. Unfortunately, this one's really close to my lip and is a little bit swollen, so hopefully it's not too distracting for you. Let's move on to finished objects. First up, I have a finished pair of socks, and I even put them on my sock blockers. Let's see, if I hold them back a bit, can you get the whole thing? I feel like maybe my camera is a little close today, but anyway. Finished socks. So these are the Hexie Diamond socks by Nancy Wheeler, and I love them. I'm very excited to get to wear these. The stitch pattern came out just beautifully on these. They're a little bit variegated. Definitely a less variegated yarn would look better, but I think they look pretty good. And I ended up doing a bit of a graduated thing on the patterning here because it was of the diamond shape, and I knew that I didn't want to have the diamond on the top of the foot, as I find that it presses down in my indoor shoes and my outdoor shoes, and then I end up with weird patterns on my feet. So it's probably not good for my skin. So yeah. There we go. The yarn that I used for this is Cascade yarns in their Heritage Paints, and this is color 9926, but it is a lovely deep red with these, they're kind of like navy stripes. They're showing up really black on the screen. Hopefully you're seeing that they are definitely a blue tone. Maybe you can see it better there where it kind of pooled on the heel. So yeah, finished socks. I am excited to wear these. I've already tried them on. They fit great. And another pair of socks for my sock drawer. The other item is that I have finished a hat. There's a bit of a story to this, so I'll show you first and then we'll go over the story. And this hat is giant. That's the back. That's the stripe. You don't want to see the stripe. So I just did some stripes. So originally I had cast on for the Fleet hat by Tin Can Knits, which is a color work hat. And I do love doing color work, clearly, based on the sweater. But I just didn't feel like doing color work right now. And I'd only done like 2 or 3 rows of it. So I ripped back the color work and just went with the black for the brim that I had already done. And then I used the colors that I had planned for the color work in some stripes. And voila, you have a hat. Also, it is actually large hat, but I'm going to try it on anyway. I think it'll be a good man hat. Yeah, you could fold up the brim if you wanted it a bit shorter. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad. So I think if somebody will like it, it'll go in my gift bin. I might see if I have a pom-pom that would go with it nicely. Let's fix that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the colors came out. I did some quick math to figure out how long each color repeat should be. So I got 3 colors repeated, and I think it looks really good. The yarn that I used for this is some Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in Coal, Cobblestone Heather, Delft Heather, and Fjord Heather. So yeah, that is it. It was just a simple, quick hat, nice worsted weight hat, and that is going to go in the gifting bin. Next up is works in progress. My first work in progress is some socks. You've seen these before. I've made about another centimeter of progress here, so not much. These are my on-the-go project when I'm in the car and I'm just waiting for the kids, so they do not get a lot of work, but I am enjoying them a lot. Most likely I will use the OMG heel pattern for these socks, but they are just a plain 72 stitch vanilla sock. No, 64 stitch vanilla sock. I don't know. The pattern socks I did in 72 because I find that the patterns definitely pull in and I don't like it too tight on my ankles. 64 is my regular sock on a 2.25 millimeter needle, but of course, whatever gauge you like for socks. So these are very dense and they will wear very well. These are made out of some Patton's Croy sock in the cadet colors, and I am calling these my cadet socks. Now that I'm looking at them on camera, they kind of are sort of opposite. Because this is the light marl and this is the dark marl, and you can see the light is here. So they're kind of lining up as opposites, but you're getting the blue stripe in the middle there. So we will see. I'm not too particular about them. They will be non-matchy socks. I think that's everything about those, just working away. And of course, with all of the other projects that I'd finished, I needed some at-home simple knitting. So I cast on a new hat. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. Oh, the yarn is everywhere. Okay. Yeah, the pooling is turning out really cool. It's kind of striping, but kind of not, now that I'm in the plain section. So this pattern is Musselburgh by Isolde Teague. It is a double thick hat pattern that can be for any weight of yarn. And I've knit quite a few of them. I think this is 10 or 11, I don't know. But I love this pattern, and I have many more planned in my future. It's great for that single skein that you just want to let the yarn shine in a hat. And also it is all just knitting. So basically you knit the crown, then you knit the hat body, and then you just keep going to the other hat body and knit the crown, and then you tuck them inside each other, fold up the bottom, you have 4 layers on your ears. This yarn is Knit Picks Essential Multis in the Jester colorway. So I'm not sure if that's reminiscent of like a court jester or something else, but yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's very cool. Anyway, I just can't stop staring at the pooling. It's very fun. I am making this for my neighbor who has a 2-month-old baby. So I'm making the toddler size. I do have 2 balls of this. These are 50-gram balls instead of the, like a normal sock skein is 100 grams. Knit Picks just does them in 50s, which is fine. And yeah, I'm hoping to gift it to them. So the baby is 2 months old, but I'm making the toddler size in the hopes that the child will be able to wear it like this winter, even if it's a little big on their head, like this winter, like December, and then maybe the next year as well. Also, the Knit Picks sock yarn holds up really well for things like hats and throwing it in the washing machine on a delicate cycle. So it'll be a good option for somebody who doesn't necessarily know what to do with knitwear. This is the last chapter of this podcast, and normally I would have a chatter segment here. However, I found that it's been difficult to find things in my life that I'm able to talk about as my kids are getting older. They're not as interested in being me telling you guys things about them, yeah, honestly, there's just not a lot interesting going on in my life. So books are very interesting, and I read a lot. Well, I feel like I read a lot. I listen to audiobooks as well as read books. I usually have at least 3 books on the go at any given time. So that's super fun. And then, and I have finished 3 books this week. I may have mentioned last podcast that the Gaslight series by Victoria Thompson, a bunch of them came in at my library for ebooks and audiobooks, which I pretty much exclusively read ebooks and listen to audiobooks. I don't have many physical books where I actually sit down with a physical book. Often because I read in bed and I find it cumbersome and then I lose my page when I fall asleep. With ebook, it doesn't bother me, and if it falls over in bed and falls on the floor or whatever, it's not a big deal. I wake up in the morning and I'm still at the same page. Okay, that's a long-winded way to say I've finished 3 books. Murder in the Bowery, Murder in Union Square, and Murder on Trinity Place. I love this series, and I'm so happy my library got these in. They're not particularly new books. It just happens that my library didn't have any, and now they do. And I basically borrowed all of them that I possibly could, and I'm reading them all right now. I think I've got 13 days left to finish the rest of the series. Don't worry, I can handle it. I will get it done. I'm almost finished the other book that I'm reading. So we also belong to Kobo Plus, which has a lot more like B-rated books and older books. It does have some new releases on it, but very few that I'm interested in reading. But there are a lot of series that are, maybe not as well known, that kind of thing, that are on Kobo Plus. And as long as you're a subscriber, you get to read as many books as you want on your Kobo. And the reason I got a Kobo over a Kindle is that my library works with Kobo and it doesn't work with Kindle. So that was the reasoning there. And the Kobo Plus is pretty good. I wish that it had more books that my kids were interested in reading, but I do enjoy it. And I think it's only like $10 a month or something. So even if I read 1 book a month, it's worth it to have access to those. I don't have to worry about them going back to the library. You just pick up anytime as long as you're subscribed. Okay, that's enough ranting and raving about books, and we're going to call that a week, and we will see you guys again next time.